good morning everyone. It's a dark and dreary day here in the north of England. It's dark and dreary in the greenhouse, it's dark and dreary outside. It's about 5 degrees, so I thought I'd just come in the greenhouse and film 1 or 2 plants I have in bud and probably a couple in flower. There's not much else to show you this time of year, but when the buds all develop, we should have a nice show or 2. So, welcome to my channel and I hope you enjoy it. Now the first one I'd like to show you is a Paph Rothschildianum. Now this is only a very small one. It's less than 40 centimetres leaf span. So I did a bit of research on it and found out that it was bred by Assendorfer in Germany about 8-9 years ago. And this one has flowered, and when I took it to a show, Assendorfer was there and he said that it was the first one he'd ever seen in flower. The beautiful little flowers. It only had 2 on, but they were very dark and very Rothschildianum type. See if I can close in and show you it's spiking again. There it comes up with some nice striped sheaths. This one, it threw false sheaths up 3 times before it finally flowered, so hopefully this year it'll be okay. Now the next one is another multiflorum. It's multiflorum Paph Berenice. And this is spiking for the 2nd time this year. You can see that there. So this is a very prolific grower with plenty of blooms, new growth at the bottom, as you can see. If I can get the camera around properly. Growing very well, and very pleased that it's flowering twice this year. And just for a change, we've got Sarcochilas Hartmannii. It has flowered before, but with only 1 spike. So I'm very pleased that this year it's growing with 3. These beautiful white flowers with a lovely fragrance. I think they're Australian, but quite nice. Pretty slow going to start with, but once you get them going, they grow very well. And now we have one in flower. It is a species Paph esquirolii. And as you can see, it's a beautiful flower. Doesn't look a bit like that when it first opens up. Here's another bud here. But they're just ordinary and plain and flat when they open up, and give them a week or 2 and they come up with these little squiddly petals, and oh, really nice. Nice big plant as well. Spreads very quickly. Lovely fan-shaped leaves as well. That's Paph esquirolii. Another little Paph coming up is Paph barbatum, another species, and this time with 2 spikes and 2 nice buds, as you can see. 1, 2. Multi-growth plant. Don't do a lot with it, just leave it in the pot and shove it on one side and just let it grow. Water it when I think it needs it. But there's one thing about watering. A lot of people have going, especially with flags, want to put limestone in and eggshells and stuff like that. But you have to bear in mind that if you put limestone in, the large chunks of limestone, about 6mm, it's going to take months, if not years, for that to have any effect on the pH. And if you put the dolomite lime in, which is the powdered CaCO3, then that's going to take weeks before there's any alteration in the pH. And I've just been reading that if you put oyster shell on top of the frags, you might not as well do it. It's very very slow to react being so hard to the watering, and it's debatable whether it does any good whatsoever. And last but not least is this I'm very proud of at the moment. It's Dendrochilum glumaceum. It's flowered, let's see, 2 or 3 years ago, but since then it's done nothing. But at the moment it's got over 22 flower spikes on it. I think I'll just close in and see if I can show you one or two. And you see them there coming on in between the leaf axils there, coming up. Lots of them. And these produce those white pendulous flowers that hang down. So this is why I've had to put it on a hanger to hang it up in the greenhouse. So that should be quite some plant when it gets going. That's Dendrochilum glumaceum. Well, that's about all. We'll have a quick look at the greenhouse before I say goodbye, and if you've enjoyed it, which I hope you have, I know it's not been a long video or very informative, but until next time, I'll try and find you something a little more interesting.